right, now the first step is to take this cover off, and this also has the temperature sensor, so be careful when you're pulling. And that came off a lot easier than I thought, and then I just had to unplug the temperature sensor. Now that the cover is off, all I have to do to disconnect the temperature sensor is press down with the pry tool on this clip right here, and once that is loose, I can pull it off. Then I'll just set this aside for later because I will have to take the temperature sensor off. Next, I'll just be taking off these two 10mm bolts. All right, the first bolt is officially out. It took forever. All right, got that one off. Now, just as a precaution, I will enable screen clean mode. That way I can take the screen off and I'll have to worry about it doing anything while it's off the dashboard. And now I'll just very carefully wiggle the screen off. Just be really careful with this because you don't want to break anything. Okay, it took a little bit of extra manpower. I thought it was gonna be a lot easier to take off. But once you have it loose, you just have to very carefully set it down so you can unplug this. Now I'll just use my Torx T25 screw on this screw and this screw to take this plastic cover off. All right, now it's loose, so I can just lift this up, and it's gonna be a lot easier to unplug the screen now. Then I just have to remove this plastic cover over the display cable, and just be really careful. You don't want to break this. I'm not even sure why they put this on the car. I assume it's so, like, it can't be unplugged somehow while it's in the car, maybe? I don't know. And to remove this cable, all you do is press down on this part, and then you can just pull up to unplug the display. And now the display is off the car. It's kind of heavy. It's like gotta be like 2 pounds at least. And for now, I'll just leave the display in the back seat so it doesn't get in the way of anything. I was kind of curious how this would look in the driver's point of view. And if you look like just like this, it looks like there was never even a screen. Now I'm just gonna use this bracket and I'm gonna slide it in just like this with this part on the bottom. After I put the bracket in, I tilted it this way so I can easily put these 10mm bolts back in. Now that that part's in, I will just tilt this the other way and put this 10mm screw back in. All right, now both of these are back in, so I can go to the next step. Now for the next step, I have this bracket and I'll just slide everything over this, starting with the wires just so I don't forget them. Kind of wedge it in this way, maybe turn it a little bit, and then get the other side in. And don't really rush this, take your time. This is honestly taking me longer than I thought. So now we have it all set up, and it actually is gonna look pretty good. I thought it would look like really weird on the edges, but it's gonna actually look really nice once it's in all the way, obviously. I've actually run into a little bit of an issue with this. It's nothing with the actual product, it's with Tesla's manufacturing. This is slightly longer than this, so it's kind of making it bulge out right here. I have this bracket on fully now, and it does bulge out, like I said, because this piece of metal on this side is way too long. But honestly, this still works, and that's all that really matters, because I'm never gonna look behind the screen and go, oh dang, I wish this wasn't bulging out like that. It's just, it's part of the car, you know, it's a Tesla. So the correct way is to put the screen down just like that, and then you get the bracket and you slide it over top with the cord. Obviously, plug in the cord first. I'll do that real quick. Now just press down on this until you hear a click, like that. And now you can easily slide the bracket over top without having to deal with anything. Now that the screen is plugged back in, you just slide it over this bracket. And then with the Torx T30, you want to put this in. I'm just going to put this in slightly with my hand so I can get it in easier. Then you just take the temperature sensor out, and you have to take some Torx T5 screws out. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. And it just looks like this. And they give you this for 2021 plus, and this for 2017 to 2020. Now the temperature sensor is installed into the new housing. Now all I have to do is plug the temperature sensor back in. So you hear a click,